Hi guys, it's Gilly Hunt here with a quick class on how to make a rather pretty little Christmas tree which you can hang around your house or put up wherever you like over this Christmas season. I'm hoping you like it. I've just made 150 of them for my trip tomorrow to Germany, where I'm going meeting lots and lots of other crafters and where we often exchange gifts and little tiny tokens. So I'm hoping everybody loves them. And if they do, some of them may even be coming on to www.gillyhunt.com to have a look at how to make one themselves. So here goes. First thing you need to do is go here, do your shopping, make sure you've bought some really nice papers. And here's a real great suggestion from me. These are the ones I've used. They're called Garden Lane and they're absolutely fabulous. They're good quality, they're hard enough and tough enough so that when you fold them they don't crack and bend in the wrong places, but they're also beautifully flexible for working with. So this is Garden Lane. First thing you need to do is you need to choose whichever paper it is, whether it's Garden Lane or some other, and you need to cut them into 3 squares, a 3-inch, a 2.5 inch and a 2-inch, and you'll notice I've done them in very boring white, but it allows me to put the dots on and show you how to fold it, and then we'll go back to the lovely designer paper in a moment. So the first thing you need to do is you need to take all 3 and do the same folds on all 3 of them. So first fold is across from corner to corner to give you a diagonal fold, and once you've done that fold, so that's the fold there with the big black line, you then fold it in the opposite direction so that we now end up with a cross folded corner to corner. And then we do one last fold, and this time it's a side to side fold across the middle so that we're creating a small rectangle. And that fold we only do on this one side. We do not do it on this side or this side, we just do it the one fold. But what we do with this one is we also fold it backwards on itself. So we make sure we've folded it forwards and backwards. Okay, and that's quite important because it helps the whole thing flap in a moment. Okay, so let's go to the coloured card, which is much easier and much prettier. So here we go. We've got the cross here, which is not so clear, but it is there, I promise you. And there's our one single line. No lines on this side and this side. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our fingers on the ends of that side to side line, and we're going to press inwards. And as we press inwards, you'll see what's happening is the whole thing is folding in and creating one triangle that side and one triangle at the back. Do you see how that happened? It's a bit like one of those games, I can't remember what they're called, but you put love and kiss and all sorts. But what we do is we just fold it so that there's a triangle at the front and a triangle at the back, just the same. Okay, and then we turn it sideways because I find it easier to do it sideways, and making sure that we're working from that point there and creating an L-shaped 90-degree angle there. We fold that little flap upwards. Okay, let me show you again. So we take one of the flaps, doesn't matter which one at all, up, make sure it's pointed at that end and that it's on a right angles there. And we do exactly the same with the other side. So we fold it in to meet that flap. And that's how we make the tree shape. Okay, we leave the back completely flat. We don't fold those flaps up at all. We just fold the front ones. And there we have a large one, a middle-sized one, and a little bitty small one, which is so small it's jumping all over the place, just like me. Okay, now we've got to just make all the bits and pieces come together. So here's our large one, and we're going to take, and I've decided, because I really love purple and green. I'm not a purple girl normally, but I love purple and green sometimes, very regal. So we're taking this small strip for the tree trunk, and I've cut mine 3 inches by about 1/4 wide, but it's a very approximate. And I'm going to just add a little bit of glue, if my glue will cooperate. Just one moment, let's give it a squeeze. There we go. A little bit of glue on just the end, and then that end I'm going to put downwards, so the glue's facing downwards, and it's going to slot in to the bottom of that. Okay, nice and simple, into the bottom of there, close it up, and this is why I use wet glue, because it now allows me a little time to wriggle about and make sure that's nicely pointing down the middle and it's nicely centred. We don't want a wonky tree trunk. Okay, put that to one side. Now we're going to do the loop on the top. I can't remember which one I used, I think it was that one. The original one has a loop here at the back so that you can hang it from. Okay, so that's what we're going to create now. So we're going to take either a piece of twine like this or a piece of ribbon, and it's approximately 6 inches long, and we're going to loop it round, and we're going to add a little piece of tear tape just to hold it together as a loop. Not right on the very end, because we want the very end free, but just a little tiny way up. Okay, then we're going to take the smallest of our tree branches, and making sure we've got the front here, we're going to turn it over so that we're now working on the flat triangle at the back, and we're going to put a piece of tear tape across the back and then allow it to go over and into the centre. Okay, so that's down there, over and into the centre, and we're going to take the tape off that, which is always a bit of a twiddle. Oh, it's going to come quite nicely. Hooray! Now don't close that, whatever you do. In fact, I'm going to put it down because I might just close it by accident. Take that off, and then we're going to stick the sticky side to the sticky side, leaving the loop in the centre and the tails down at the bottom of the triangle, because they're then going to be tucked inside, out of the way, neat and tidy. Okay, just make sure that's nice and straight. If you need to, just run your finger along it to make sure it's nice and straight. And when this all folds back up again, which it will do very easily, we now have the hook for the top, the loop for the top, but the tails are nicely concealed inside. Okay, makes it nice and tidy and rather pretty. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you can just stick a hoop on the back. There's no worries about that, especially if you're going to put it up against a wall anyway. If you know where you're going to put it, just stick a loop on the back. You could even stick it on with a couple of staples if you want to, as long as you know it's not going to be seen. So there we go. Now all we're going to do is pop a little piece of glue on the top. And each time we're going to just tuck them in. So each time I've got my tails at the front and the flat bit at the top, I'm going to let it open itself up, and it almost opens itself up ready to take the tree. All we want to do is make sure that's kind of nice and pretty looking, and that, oops, that at the front those meet a bit of a crease, they meet in the middle. And we're going to do the same at the top here. And we're going in. And we're going to close it up. And again, we're going to just double check that everything's nicely in line with the tree trunk so that the whole tree looks nice, and that we've got a nice even zigzag all the way up. And then we're just going to hold on to it whilst it just sticks for a couple of seconds. Okay, so that's our basic tree. Now it looks a bit boring like that, so we're going to need a few little embellishments. And I'm going to pop a little star on this one, I think. So I'm going to pop a little star on the top. And all I've done to create that star is I've taken the inners from a die cut that I have. I made this lovely card. I'll just show you the card itself a couple of weeks ago, and it's just a beautiful die cut. And out of the die cut come these lovely, lovely stars. You'll see that again if you go onto gillyhunt.com, you go shopping, you look out for this wonderful star die cut. It's there, and the inside pieces I keep in a little box, and whenever I need them, I've got little stars to use as embellishments. So there's my little purple and green version. Now we did say to have a 3-inch tree trunk, and actually I find that just cutting it off a little bit is more acceptable. But I like to do that right at the end when I know the proportions of the tree and how long the hanger is, so that it all looks nice and neat and tidy. So there's one. Here's a couple that I've made earlier. Here's a green one using the gross grain ribbon and the similar kind of decoration using the little star. Another gross grain ribbon one in the Grapefruit Grove colour range. I've also got one that I showed you at the very beginning, which was with a lovely little white star and a glittery base. I've also got one which I rather like myself, which has just a little leaf design, one of these wonderful embellishments, and the copper trim, which makes a lovely top. And I also have another little one here, which is made using very simple copper foil and the lovely mint macaron ribbon. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That's my very first ever video. Oh my goodness, and I did it right till the end. Okay, bye, thanks.